Hi everybody. So in today's video I'm just going to go through my collection of knuckle bones that I have so far, and I guess kind of pick out my most favourites. I'm not going to do this in a tiered list. I don't really view them that way, I guess, or never really thought about it. I'm just literally going to pick out the ones that I use most and, you know, prefer most. I'm not going to go through individual pricing, weights, sizing, all of that kind of thing, because we'll be here forever. Because I only just realised the other day I think I have 38 in total. So I didn't realise I had that much. Some of them I bought last year, and then of course I've just fallen in love with them all over again this year, so I've got a lot more. So I'll get started. So I'm going to start with some ones I got last year when I was very new to this. These are actually the only things I've ever had from Around Square that I really dislike, and these are the silicone honey bones. Now, if I recall correctly, because I bought them last year, they come as a set of 3. I'm not entirely sure. And I apologise, these are a dust and fluff magnet, and I have a cat, and she's black and white, so as you can imagine, they just attract cat hair. Now, the reason why I really don't like them is a lot of it's to do with the feel. It's not shiny silicone, you know, it's not that shiny would be any better, but you can feel the mould lines, and they're just really grippy, and a rubbery kind of grip is not a good thing, in my opinion, for knuckle rollers. And they're flexible, so I don't think they're very, beginner friendly. And I bought them as a very, I think it was part of my first order or my first couple of orders last year. I really don't like them. I think I got them so that I could try out the other sizes without spending a lot of money, because these are cheap. But yeah, so this is the mini and micro sizes. But yeah, they are, ugh. I don't like the feel of them. The grip just makes them harder to use, in my opinion. I often forget I have these. It was only through conversation with a friend the other day that I remembered I have them, and I had to dig them out for this video. So, yeah, not a fan. Sorry. I know some other people like them, but personally, I just really don't. I'm sorry. Everything else from Around Square is excellent, but those aren't. Okay, so ignore the Big Larry. They stay in these trays as well with my knuckle rollers. I just lined them with some red felt, these trays. So these are all Around Square. So this was the first one I ever bought. This is acrylic by Around Square, and these are just fantastic value for money. Here's another acrylic, clear, and they're just wonderful to use. Super lightweight, very beginner friendly. Definite recommend. The only thing is I would say the glossy feel of it, if your hands get a little bit sweaty, it can almost feel like it's sticking to your hand sometimes, but personally I haven't really found that an issue. And this one's just gorgeous. I don't know if they have this green in stock anymore, but beautiful colourway. And the clear acrylic is just hypnotic, really. So can't go wrong with these. They are just absolutely stunning, very cheap. You know, I've bought one of these for a friend to introduce her to knuckle bones. She really likes it, and I've got another one on the way that I'm going to give to someone else as an introduction as well. So yeah, they're quite nice to give away. Then we'll move on to the Delrin by Around Square. So these are in 3 different sizes. This is the large, this is the regular, this is the mini. Now, I got the regular last year, around about the same time I got the acrylics, a little bit after. These are even better than the acrylics because they just glide through your fingers. They're not really glossy. I guess it's kind of like a satin feel, but they don't feel like they stick to your fingers. Delrin is tough, but I have a black one of these. I don't have it here. It's in my uniform pocket. Basically, it's my work roller. Sadly, I dropped it on concrete the other day from about waist height. And it has got a little ding in it, which has ruined the overall feel of it, because they're also quite nice as almost like a worry stone. So if you're not rolling them, I might just be holding it in my pocket and just using it like a worry stone, but it's kind of ruined that effect now because I dropped it. But the reason why I bought it for work, the black one, was just like, it doesn't matter if I drop it. They're really cheap. They are strong. If I dropped an acrylic on the floor, I think it would be in a worse state. I got it as one that's going to get knocked around, that I wouldn't have to worry too much about, and isn't going to do any damage to anything at work either, so, it's only plastic. So this is definitely one of my favourites, but I'll sort that out at the end. Out of curiosity, I got the mini and the large. The mini's quite nice. Very lightweight. But mini sizes for me personally, with small hands and stubby fingers, I struggle with them a little bit more. So I prefer longer rollers personally. But the mini, I got it before I got a titanium mini, so it was relatively cheap. And this is the large. I thought it would be too big, and it kind of looks ridiculously big, but I get on with it quite well. It's not one I use a lot. Looks kind of stupid, to be honest. It's just too big. But I think there's an XL as well, but I don't think I'm going to get that. I don't know if I'll be able to use it. I think I might just be too silly, but this is fine. Nice thing about the Delrin, you get a kind of swishy sound as it goes through your fingers, because it has got a very slight texture, but you can't really feel it. It's weird. Just fantastic material, very cheap. If I had to recommend one over the other in terms of acrylic and Delrin, I would recommend the Delrin, hands down. So we've got 3 titanium ones here. So this is the regular, the mini, and the micro. The micro I just got as to be kind of like part of the collection. It is too small. It is way too small. But I don't know. I think, some people who are really good with these can really, do some great things with this. So it's okay. For me, it was just part of the collection. I wouldn't recommend it to a beginner, even though it is lightweight, because it's so small. The mini, kind of same thing really. Oh, I just dropped it. Lucky I didn't drop that on my foot. So doesn't weigh a lot, but it's kind of been overshadowed by the Slim Mini now. It's okay to use. Just not, I wouldn't recommend it to a beginner, really. If I was going to recommend to a beginner getting their first knuckle rollers, then I don't know why I was looking for the Slim Mini and the others is right there. Never mind, it's because I've moved these around. If you're looking to get a little titanium, you don't want to get the regular size, get the Slim Mini. Just way better, hands down. It's just that slimmer grip it just makes it easier for me, at least, anyway. It puts more of the weight on the ends, which is personally what I think you want, or that's how I like my knuckle rollers anyway. So yeah, the mini's okay, lighter weight than the regular, but when you're a beginner, I would say you need to kind of stick to the regular size, but I wouldn't recommend the titanium regular size for a beginner. It took me quite a while to get used to the weight of this. There's an unboxing on my channel for this when I got back into knuckle rollers this year, and I really struggled with it to begin with because it was such a stark difference to the acrylic and the Delrin that I had. I'm more used to it now, and I prefer more weight now. Some things are easier to do, like thumb rolls with more weight. But yeah, this took me a long time to get used to. So when you're just starting out, stick to the lighter materials, because you are building muscles in your hands and your fingers. You're building that muscle memory as well. So be kind on yourself, and don't put yourself off knuckle rollers, before you've really gotten to grips. But if you really, really can't help yourself, and you really, really want to get a titanium knuckle roller, get the Slimony. That's gonna introduce you quite nicely. It's still quite lightweight, and that slim grip just makes it easier to use, in my opinion. Better than the mini. So that's kind of covered the Slimony as well. Let's put that down there. And that finish, I'll say it again, is absolutely beautiful. And the cat is scratching on the door, and I'm not letting her in. So I'm never allowed to shut doors in my house. I'm not allowed to be apart from her. It's not permitted for some reason. This is the aluminium. This I should have got sooner rather than later. In fact, I probably should have got it before I got the titanium regular. It's just because I'm not a massive fan of aluminium as a material in general. This is just the regular size. This is amazing. Absolutely fantastic. I'd say, if you're not that fussed about getting titanium, but you want to get metal, something a little bit heavier, get the aluminium. In fact, I will weigh this one just to see how much it actually weighs. Because if you're getting to the point where perhaps Delrin, acrylic, or even wood is getting a little bit boring, and you're getting to grips with things, you want to get a metal, maybe get the aluminium first. See how you get on. Yeah, it's about 27.8 grams. The Slimony is 26, so there's hardly much weight difference at all between those. But yeah, this is relatively cheap. I think, is it in the $30 range, $35? I can't remember. The feel is a bit odd. It almost feels a little bit rough. I don't really like that, but I think it's the nature of the material. Other than that, I think the regular size round square rollers are fantastic. I prefer them to the mini versions, or the micro, or the large. So yeah, the aluminium is a good kind of stepping stone, I guess, to the heavier metals. I do recommend it. I have seen one on one of the Facebook groups, I think, where someone's been using an aluminium for so long it has kind of worn down that texture. But yeah, it's really nice. I recommend it. And here's one of the wooden ones. This is ebony. I love ebony wood. I've got Bowron tippers in ebony wood. I've had ocarinas made out of ebony. Like the fretboards on my mandolins are made from ebony. So it's a very tight grain wood, very smooth, very beautiful to look at. There is some slight colour changes in there. I just knew I was going to get ebony, mainly from my musical instrument background. So lovely to use, very lightweight. I wouldn't want to drop it on anything, because it's not really gonna survive a drop. It's gonna mess up that beautiful finish, and the ebony is really nice and smooth. You can't really feel much of a grain at all, which is what I wanted. Yeah, just nice. Yeah, recommend it. Right, more around square. So these are the modulars. I did a recent video on these, so I'm not going to go too far into these, but this is a longer grip aluminium grip with aluminium ends, the honeybone kind of ends. Very nice. The longer grip is nice. I like it quite a lot. And it's also Begleri, but I wouldn't actually use aluminium as Begleri because aluminium is not a tough metal. You're just going to ruin it. Titanium, what do they call these? Skinny ends or something? They're also Begleri. I don't recommend this, really, especially not to a beginner. They are harder to use. There's no real satisfaction moving them around because you haven't really got something either side of your fingers. It's really hard to explain, but you know, on normal knuckle bones, your fingers nestle quite nicely between those ends. There's just nothing there on this, and it can kind of go all over the place, especially as I'm not very good. So I don't really recommend those. This is titanium grip with stainless steel ends. Now this is amazing because it's so weighty on the ends. It is a hefty beast, and I don't have a solid stainless steel knuckle bone from a round square because I think the weight is just going to be insane. This is crazy heavy as it is. I don't need anything heavier than this, so yeah, but this is lovely, really nice. This is all titanium. So we've got titanium honey dipper ends, titanium grip, also Begleri. It's just very pretty, and I wanted a titanium roller with the honey dipper ends to see what the weight difference is, because obviously with the lesser mass on the ends, it's going to be, it weighs less than that one. This was one of their new iterations, so the slim grip in titanium with the I can't remember what they called these, barrel ends. I did go further in depth on another video, but it's okay, but I don't like the drastic, I guess, corners. They're not sharp, they're rounded, but it's definitely smaller, and I struggle with smaller, so yeah, not a huge fan of that one. And then this was the last one I got out of the modulars. Oh, that cat. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry. I had to stop and start the video again. I just had to let her in because she was just scratching at the door so much. And I painted these doors a couple of years ago. I don't particularly want the paint scratched off. Anyway, so yeah, this is the newest one I got. Titanium ends, solid ends, and the slim grip, and I love this. This was like my attempt at making a regular size version of the Sliminy, and I went through it in the video on the modulars that I did. But if they do a solid one like this, I would love it, because yeah, it's awesome. You can feel the edges because the slim grip is a later iteration. I don't think it was really designed for this. But yeah, I love this. It's awesome. So I think that's it in terms of a round square. They have so many different designs, so many different materials. They really have a lot to choose from. Yeah, can't fault them. Awesome. Like I said, the only ones I don't like are the silicone ones. But anyway, moving on. So I've got more Begleri in here. Oh, and also a silica gel thing. Just to stop any humidity and stuff getting to them. So, lathe back design. Let's just close that a second. So, now I'm still getting used to these. So I've got two paunders here. This one glows, this one doesn't. They are very nice. They've got mould lines, but they're not a huge problem. They don't really get much in the way, except this one that's got a mould line all the way down the middle. That kind of feels a bit weird. It's not too bad, but it's a bit of a shame. The odd ends don't bother me that much actually, and the longer grip in the middle is lovely. I'm quite a big fan of that. I'm not so used to lighter materials much anymore. I tend to prefer titanium and some other metals, but yeah, these are good, and they're very affordable. $20, I think, each, and they make them in-house. So it's still taking time, effort, materials. You know, I think $20. I don't think they're really charging enough. These are the lathe backbones set, which is the titanium mini, and then the regular sized resin, which again they've poured in-house. Unfortunately, this one has got quite a nasty, I don't think I noticed it on my unboxing video, but it has a really nasty seam there. It's quite sharp, especially if I run my thumb that way. I need to do something about that because it's a really nice roller. I prefer the regular size, but that seam is just yeah, not pleasant. I kind of like the ends. A little bit in two minds about them. I think I prefer them on the regular than the mini. I think if they did a titanium version of this, I would absolutely love it. But as it stands, I do understand mold making processes. You have seams. You know, I've made molds for my own work before. But it's a shame that, you know, nothing's been done about them. Yeah. Other than that, I do like them. The titanium lathe backbones are awesome. I love the weight, the feel as well, and the finish, the colours, they're just perfect. Really nicely done. I just wish they did a regular size version, because I do have a little bit of difficulty moving that one around. It's just too small, and when my fingers kind of hit the ends accidentally, it doesn't feel nice, it doesn't feel pleasant, these, you know, ridged ends. And I think a full-size titanium one would be better for me personally. I still like it, and again, this set, I think $55 or something like that. Really affordable. You know, considering what you're getting, and this is an independent maker, I think I said in my unboxing video they're not charging enough. And I still hold by that. I don't think they're charging enough. Sorry, I had to pause to cough there. So, next. So this is Monkey Finger Design. This is acrylic, and I don't know what this is, because I don't think it says on the site what it's actually made of. But the anodized colours are just gorgeous. They're Beglary as well, so you can unscrew them, and you can use them as Beglary. I prefer to just keep, you know, keep this all together as a knuckle roller, because I don't want them getting bashed up. I've got, you know, some separate ones as Beglary if I want to use them. So these are the same. These you can unscrew, but you need to be careful because they're plastic. They're okay. I find them a bit odd. I don't like how thick they are on the grips. The length, they are the longest ones I have. The length doesn't really bother me. I think it's just the thickness of the grip. It's just too thick. But you know, these guys, they're Beglary and yo-yo people. The grip is kind of like an extra. You know, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really use these, I have to say. They're part of the collection, they're very pretty. They're okay to use. But I mean, let's have a look. Yeah, they're even longer than the large around square. And yes, the around square one is quite thick, but I don't know, I find that easier to use. Yeah, something about these that makes them a little bit awkward. Moving on Here we go. Unquiet hands. So this is why I move them around in my drawers to try and put them all together in terms of brands and makers. So these are fantastic. I cannot recommend Unquiet Hands enough. This, I think I have unboxings for all of these. This is the rolling one in stainless steel. Again, Tom, I will keep saying it. Just please make the titanium ones. Just, I'll love you forever. This is amazing and it's fantastic and it's so soothing and fidgety as well with those spinning ends, but it's so heavy because it's stainless steel. I got this secondhand because they're not available at the moment. But the titanium one, I can just imagine it would just be perfect. The weight, it would have the spinning ends, which is fun. The shape of Unquiet Hands, that kind of hourglass shape, is really interesting, and I kind of prefer it to a round square. Just, yeah, it's so nice to use. Yeah, I can't praise Tom's work enough, really. Yeah, I just so wish that is the one I want now and have wanted for quite a while. Just that titanium revolver. Please re-release them and let me know. But aside from having a titanium one, I got the Ultim one. And this was really actually what made me get back into knuckle rollers this year, because I kept looking at this on the site and thinking, God, that's so beautiful. I really shouldn't buy it. And I think I eventually bought it, and it just got me into knuckle rollers all over again. And it is beautiful. So easy to use, just glides through the fingers, lightweight, hypnotic to look at. A bit like the acrylic around squares, it can feel like it gets a bit stuck to your fingers sometimes, but it is just really lovely to use. It doesn't really matter if you drop it. I mean, you wouldn't really want to. It will damage, you know. This one I've used quite a lot. I have got surface marks and scratches. I haven't dropped it on hard flooring because I'm not a fool. I like to think so anyway. But, you know, generally, you know, standing it up on surfaces, general use, it's just got a little bit scratched. But it doesn't bother me. That is another nice thing about these. You can stand them up on a surface, which is awesome. These you can as well. I think you can with these. Going to be a bit precarious, but I like that. That's handy. These two are always on my bedside table. This one tends to go in my pouch, so my skill toy pouch. So yeah, love them. Highly recommend. This one, I've got an unboxing for it. This is the Zokutai solid revolver, and oh my god, I just absolutely adore it. It's in the 50 gram range, I think. Maybe 55, I can't remember. This is not cheap. You know, this is an exotic material, but I think I just couldn't help myself. I got a refund for an order that just wasn't getting fulfilled from a fidget maker, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to put that money towards the Zokutai roller because I kept looking at it. I'm telling myself no, but yeah, I have poor self-control. So this is amazing. It's just beautiful to look at, and I love the weight. And I have to say, with the shape, with the sort of kind of slim grip in the middle, and then quite, you know, expanded ends, it kind of gives it that weighted end feel, and it just makes them so easy to use. For me, anyway, I just love this shape. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. I think there is a solid stainless steel. It's about $60. I haven't bought it because I have this. And stainless steel I think tends to be too weighty in terms of knuckle rollers, but it's $60. It's cheaper than these. If you're curious, maybe a good one to go for, but if you're a beginner, no, it will be too heavy. If you're a beginner and you can afford it, get the Ultim. The Ultim is $80. That's quite a lot of money, but this is lovely. Like I said, it's the reason why I got back into knuckle rollers this year, so I cherish it for that. Okay, moving on. Let's go on to TIB Studio. This is an Etsy seller, and I will link all the sellers below as well in the description. But I'm a big fan of this guy's work. He's in Ukraine. These are POM, these are titanium. Now I got this one last year, a slim one, thinking, oh yeah, I'll really get along with that because I've got really small hands. And I really struggled with it. I think a lot of it on my part was because of lack of skill. I still got a lot of that, but I've gotten better with it. I do like it. It's very sweet, but I do not recommend it for beginners. It's a little bit more difficult to use because it's got almost feels like the grip is very, very long and the ends aren't very substantial. But it's better than this, I would say, in terms of slim rollers. I would say the Slimony is better than this, but I will say right now, let's just put those down a minute, the finish on the titanium rollers, at least these, raw tie ones, it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's so smooth. It's not glossy, it's not matte, it's not rough, but they are just finished so beautifully. They feel so nice, honestly. Like, until you get one, you cannot appreciate it. He does some other colours as well, other materials. I think he does aluminium, possibly brass. But yeah, I wanted the titanium, so I had that one last year, never really got on with it, but I get on with it more this year. I made an order of these as a set, because I really wanted this size, but this came with it, so it's a slim POM. Very nice, feels much like these. Lighter weight, nice and easy to use. This is like his regular size, I think. They both are. He didn't do the titanium on its own. You could only really get it as a set, but I already had the slim one. So I just asked him, I said, can you sell me the regular titanium in a raw finish, just on its own? And he did, and it's amazing. The shape is quite unique, it's quite different to the others. Very easy to use. Has got a kind of a thicker grip, but overall, I don't know, it's just so easy to use. I really do like it. He does some other sizes as well, I think like an extra large size. But I don't think I'm going to go down that route. I think it'll be too big for me. Yeah, these are really worth it. I don't think he charges that much either, in all honesty. They are just really good rollers. This one is always in my skill toy pouch with the Ultim on quite hands as well, because I like using it. So if I'm going somewhere, the pouch goes in a bag, and that's what I have with me. Okay, apologies for the really awkward cut. For some reason my phone decided it would cut off the last bit that I did. I think I'm running out of space for videos, so quickly. Zero gravity return tops, the Knuckle Yo. So this is a knuckle bone and, well, knuckle roller and a yo-yo. If you're a yo-yo player, then it might be up your street. It is quite heavy. The ends are made of stainless steel, but you can choose what colour or style end you want and what colour or style grip you want. And it's very nice. Just, it's a little bit awkward to use because the the ends are quite big, quite bulbous, so it can be a little bit awkward to manoeuvre through the fingers, but it's okay. It's not the best they do, but I have it for the collection. Now, let's just move on to the ristrettos. So, I've made no secret about how much I love these, and I think these are the best, just hands down, in terms of shape, size, weight, everything. So, there's actually a slight little bit of difference there. These are both ristrettos, but this one, the oak one, is a little bit bigger. Hadn't noticed that before. This is oak, this is beech. They've both got stainless steel ends. This has just got the rainbow ends. This has got the just plain stainless steel ends. And just the shape of these are amazing. So the thinner grip, slimmer grip, and the ends are quite kind of bulbous, I guess, but not too much. And the weight, it's just fantastic. The grips, being wood, are very easy to use and don't slip. They're just, I can't praise these enough. I like the little dimples on the end. That's just a nice little kind of worry stone thing. And they stand up as well, which is awesome. Yeah, I can't praise these enough. Do recommend these. Okay, once again, I had to stop the camera and I've actually had to change storage over to the SD card because, yeah, I'm running out of room for all these videos, so I need to sort some things out. So, we just did those, so last one is the Picciotto by Zero Gravity Return Tops. Dimpled ends, which I really like again. Slightly different kind of design. Slim grip. And as I said on the video I did for it, much like the Slimony, but it's more of a regular size as far as I'm concerned. Obviously smaller ends, but it's just absolutely perfect. It's just gorgeous to use. I prefer it to the Slimony because it has that extra length over it. So there we go. Yeah, it's quite a lot longer, which I prefer. I found these glow O-rings here in the UK, put them on, put some pictures up on Instagram, and I think like just comments and likes just blew up from there. I've sent one to a fellow knuckle roller enthusiast in the UK because they wanted some, so I had to buy 20. Only cost me like £2, but I couldn't just buy 2. You know, I had to buy a pack of 20. Yeah, so they glow because I'm a sucker for glow stuff. But yeah, this is just a pleasure to use. I still can't decide which I prefer out of the Ristretto and the Picciotto. They're both equally good, to be honest. I haven't actually used the Ristretto in a little while. Bit out of practice with it. I don't know. But they're excellent. Absolutely excellent. I mean, Zero Gravity Return Tops are more of a yo-yo company, I think. But they're onto something with their rollers. Absolutely. They are really, really well designed. And very well executed as well. I think the only disappointing thing I had about the Ristretto was the wood's a little bit torn on the ends on the oak one, which it isn't like that on the other end, so it's obviously avoidable. I don't think enough care was taken into finishing it, I don't know, or into cutting it. I've worked with wood before. I know it's difficult, but, you know, some care sometimes makes a world of difference, but it doesn't matter. The beech one is fine. But the oak actually has a much nicer feel, smoother feel than the beech. I would love one of their espresso models, but I was too late for that. They're always out of stock. I don't know if they're making them again. So anyway, my favourites. Kind of need to make some more room to make a kind of place for my favourites. So if I had to choose, and to be honest, based on what I use most, favourites, Sentimental, my first one, definitely. I don't necessarily use it all that much. Sometimes I'll pick it up, bit of nostalgia sake, but sentimental value and the fact that these are so cheap and so good, acrylic. Definitely the Delrin. I recommend this to anyone who's starting out. Just get an acrylic or a Delrin one, but I really actually suggest you get the Delrin because it's just so much nicer in the hand to use. I think it's easier to use and it's very pleasant. Such a pleasant feel. Excellent. Okay, the Slimony. I do love the Slimony. Even though I like that Picciotto better, I still pick this up. It's got such a lovely finish. I've ordered the stainless steel Slimony because I think that will be the only solid stainless steel I will ever get from Around Square. So, yeah, definitely love the titanium Slimony. Okay, until they do a solid version of this, if they ever do that, I did suggest it on the group. This is one of my favourites because it just glides. So it's like a regular with a slim grip. Please do a solid version with this finish Around Square. It would be awesome. Okay. In an ideal world, I would pick all three of these because I love Unquiet Hands and they're amazing. But this is too heavy. This is why I want a titanium one so much, because it would be perfect. I can't put it in my utmost favourites, but these two I can, because I know I carry this around with me in my skill toy pouch, and this is always at home with me. It doesn't leave the house. It's on my bedside table. When I go downstairs, I usually take some fidgets and skill toys with me. Put in my pocket. This is always going in there, so it's going with me within the house. So, yeah, definitely the Zerkatai, and definitely the Autumn. So next, okay, definitely this. It's in my skill toy pouch alongside the Autumn. Unquiet Hands, this TRB Studio titanium roller, the regular size is absolutely amazing, fantastic, and I asked him to make it, so it was a custom order, but I think all in total with shipping and tax included it was something like £50. Now you could say that's quite expensive, but this also cost me about £50. And which do I prefer? The TRB Studio. So yeah, love that one. Okay, I can't choose between two Ristrettos. You know these are going to be in my favourites because I rave about them all the time. I strongly suggest, if you're looking at zero gravity return tops, you cannot go wrong with the Ristrettos, and I don't know if they're going to restock them. I have no idea. So whatever's left, because you can choose wood and ends. You know, you can mix it up. There's walnut and that rainbow kind of maple. I kind of wish they did plain maple because I would have chosen that over all of these. Whether that maple's available anymore, I don't know. But either way, you can kind of build what you want, grips and ends, and they're just amazing. The whole weighted end thing, I keep rambling on about it. I just really, really, really enjoy it. And they're not too heavy. They're in a 30-gram mark, which is a good sweet spot, I think. So they're both up there. And the Picciotto, obviously. It's better than the Slimony, personally. But it's the one I've been using most lately. In fact, most of the time I've got, you know, these two and one of these with me when I'm walking around the house. So yeah, I have to say these are my favourites. Definitely. Around Square, acrylic, Delrin, modular slim grip, titanium with solid titanium ends, the Around Square titanium Slimony, the Unquiet Hands Ultim and Zerkatai, The Zekatai is a bit of an extravagance, I know, but, you know, if you even do a solid titanium one, I would buy that. That would be really, really nice. And probably more affordable than the Zekatai. The TIB Studio Titanium regular, the Zero Gravity Return Tops Ristrettos, and the Zero Gravity Return Tops Picciotto. These are my absolute favourites. But if you're a beginner, just get a Delrin. Yeah, get a Delrin, or if you want something a bit prettier, get the acrylic from Around Square. Okay, I'm going to end the video there because I think it's been long enough. If you have any questions about anything, just leave a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer in a coherent way. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and have a lovely day.